Hello there, Ray here, and today we're going to try to figure out everything that there is to learn about the new blue ice which is added in the most recent snapshot and how it compares to the other ices. In my recent snapshot review video, we learned that the blue ice will allow entities to slide across more easily. But in this video, we're going to go into much more detail and figure out exactly what type of entities as well how fast they actually move across it. Now, mining up normal ice, you just need efficiency 3 to instantly mine it. But it is quite the difference for this new blue ice. Now I have efficiency 5 and I'll even give myself ace 2 and it is quite difficult to mine this up. And you also need silk touch to get the item, otherwise it'll just break. So let's compare the blast resistance with packed ice with the new blue ice. So let's go ahead and blow up this packed ice and see what kind of hole it makes. Yeah, it does a lot of damage as you can see. Now let's do the same with some blue ice and see what kind of hole it makes. Ah, it's a lot more sturdier, so I think it has a higher hardness. So I want to redo my initial test. Got some command blocks will help me. First I want to test out some normal ice. I'll throw an item down here, and I'll let that one slide all the way down. Then I want to try out the blue ice compared to normal ice. Got another command that will align me here, and then I will throw an item down this one. Pretty much just sets all my coordinates to 0, so I can see the difference between these items. Now you can definitely see there is a difference. So the normal ice here allowed the item to slide out 8 meters, where this one is even more slippery and allowed the item to slide out 14 meters, so that's 6 meters more. So to keep things fair with our test, let's start all our entities from the same location. So I'm just going to align these entities with these chests here, that way they're partly sitting over the edge. That way when we push them with the pistons, we can have it so that they are on the edge and they can clip with the slime block that's going to be coming across. You can see there's a little bit hanging over. Let's go ahead and launch these two and see where these two items go. Wow. Yeah, they go a lot farther with slime blocks. That is pretty impressive. Look how far that is just with a single push of the slime block. So with normal ice, the item went 26 meters, but with the new blue ice, the item went 48 meters. That's insane. So let's see how it works with some other entities. So here I got some armor stands, and what I got is some pistons here to align them, and some trapdoors to drop them down onto the ice. Pretty much the same setup as before. They'll get pushed by these slime blocks, so I'll just remove these blocks here, and go ahead and send these guys off. And yeah, it's kind of disappointing. There's not a very big difference with the armor stands. So let's try it with players. I'm just going to line myself with the chest like I did with the entities, and then I'll push myself. And yeah, it looks pretty much exactly same result as we've seen with the armor stand. So let's try it with boats now. Hope that, yeah, the boat should stay there. Okay. And this guy, push him right against the chest here like so. And then we will send him off with the same kind of contraptions where they're barely hanging over. And wow, yeah, like boats really like to slide on ice. That guy made it there. This guy, whoa! He went all the way off of the test platform. Like, I'm gonna have to add on to this. So I went ahead and doubled the length of the testing for the blue ice and set the boat back up again, and we'll push it along. And this guy, he made it to 50 meters, but this guy, he is not slowing down whatsoever. Yeah, I think there is a bug here. Oh yeah, there's our sand village. So what we kind of should expect from this guy is to at least go twice the distance of maybe the normal ice, but yeah, there's definitely nothing. There's no drag going on with this boat, so there's nothing slowing him down. Now, this used to be a prior bug in a previous snapshot where boats would not have any drag, and they fixed it, so I'm guessing they're going to fix this as well, but let's go ahead and play around with this while we can. So the boat's not having any drag kind of reminds me of this here, which is a property with falling blocks. So here we got falling block that is between these two blocks, and over here, its majority is on this side, and this is hanging over top of air, therefore it cannot convert over into a solid block. Now, even though this is not ice, this is just stone, if we just send this one off, he will continue going like without any drag, any resistance, and yeah, there's pretty much no friction at all preventing him from stopping. So this is like an infinite way to move sand block entities or any type of falling block entity, and it kind of reminds me of that with boats, like they're just not getting any friction whatsoever, so they're just continually moving as far as they can go. Like with this one, obviously it's going to run out of blocks to sit on top of, and with like the boat, it's going to run out of ice to sit on top of. So I want to figure out what are the speeds of the sand as well as the boat, which have no drag. So I got some commands set up on the side, and then what will happen is they'll go out about 100 meters, and then they'll hit some command blocks, which will start up this counter. Then they'll hit the different command blocks, which will stop it. So let's go ahead and just test the sand out for now. We can see what happens. So if it goes out here, you can see that it's going to run across this pressure plate here, which is going to start up the counter. And then the counters start counting, and then as it gets to the end, it's going to come across a different pressure plate, and that pressure plate will stop it. So you see it took about 100 game ticks, and these are 100 meters long. So I'm guessing it's probably 1 game tick per meter, which is pretty nice. Okay, let's go ahead and try out the boat now. So the boat is ready to launch and let's send it off. And I'm guessing we're gonna have pretty much similar results. Here it's coming up to the first command block and it's going to go across it. Then it's gonna head all the way off to the far command block and it's going to cross it again. Oh, this one seems quite a bit slower. So that is about 117 game ticks. So yeah, it's a bit slower than the sand. So it should work the same way with entities. So we can just put a dolphin in there and send it off. That looks pretty crazy. And players act a little bit differently, but sometimes they can work. It's kind of finicky the way that it works. So yeah, you just have to kind of mess around with it. Once in a while, you can get it to work. I'm gonna keep trying at this. There it goes. Okay. So yeah, it's a little bit weird with players. It doesn't always work, so you have to kind of line it just right. But you can see I'm going backwards, and I'm going at decent speed as well. And yep, ended up where the dolphin did, but the dolphin died. Let's see how it is just riding in a boat and pressing forward. Oh, yeah, there is like nothing stopping me. It just keeps on going. Whoa! So next I want to see if the blue ice allows you to travel faster by sprint jumping down these corridors where you have ice on the bottom and trapdoors above. I have some command blocks set up here to check the time that it takes us to travel this distance, 100 meters, and it's going to be kept track in game ticks. And I have some pressure plates which will start up. I also had to lock these trapdoors to prevent them from flickering as we run this test. And I have some command blocks here will just align the player perfectly so I don't have to worry about any misalignments. And what I'll do is I'll hold down my sprint key, my forward key, and my space key, my jump key at the same time. This way I don't have to try to spam my space bar. This way it's a more consistent test. And I'm running 100 meters. Up ahead you can see that there is a pressure plate with the command blocks. And this will end the test. And as I run across it, yep, you can see it ended it. About 226 game ticks it took me to go across with normal ice. Now let's see how fast it is by using the blue ice. So let's run that result, but on blue ice, same setup. We're holding sprint and run at the same time going forward, and we can see about how much faster blue ice is compared to normal ice, if it's faster at all. I think it's going to be a little bit faster just because in other tests it's faster. Oh, wow. About 200 game ticks it took us to go this entire distance. So yeah, it's about 1 second faster over 100 meters, so it is considerably faster to use. So with normal ice, it took about 11 seconds. With blue ice, it only took 10 seconds. So this is a 10% increase. So you definitely wanted to go ahead and swap out all your old paths with the new blue ice once we upgrade to 1.13. Something that I have always wanted is to have snow layers on top of ice. Now with normal ice as well as packed ice, you cannot put snow layers on top of them. And they did this probably because with them generating in the world, such as in the ice spikes, they didn't want it to snow and then layers of snow to be placed on top of these, making the terrain look kind of strange. But now with blue ice, you can now place snow layers on top of ice. It's really handy in situations where you're trying to get the slippery effect as well as trying to limit the height of something. Now you can go ahead and place these inside of your speed sprinting lanes like this, but the way that it works is that it's actually bigger than the typical situation, which is a trapdoor with a block on the bottom. But you can't normally walk into this, but if you shift, then you can slide in here, and then you can jump up and down and run across this. This is a nice way to allow it so that mobs aren't able to spawn inside of your ice path, while also giving pretty much the same speed as before. So I'm really curious to see if the new ice allows us to have faster ice streams. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull these two out, and there's two different examples. And so far, it looks like the one on, yeah, the one on the blue ice is going much faster. So yeah, definitely see that in the future that we are going to now be using blue ice to transport all our items. It is clearly faster. So let's go ahead and see how fast it is. Let's go ahead and test out the normal ice on a 100-meter segment, and it's going ahead and it's going to run all the way to the very end. It looks like it's going to take about the same amount of time as we've seen with the other items. Oh, a little bit slower. We got 136 ticks it took it to travel 100 meters. So let's try out the new blue ice. So here goes the blue ice, and I expect a very nice speed increase with this one. It's traveling very nicely, almost to the end, and let's see what the results are. 126 or 124. Oh, wow. So, yeah, about 10 game ticks faster. Not a lot, but I think it's still worth switching your ice paths off if you have a situation where you're trying to avoid your items from despawning. Also, it's really nice to get the items like stored away before they create too much lag, because obviously the more entities you have, the more lag they are. So the faster they travel through the ice, the faster they get to their destination, the sooner they go into the chest, and yeah, just a lot of less lag overall. So all the items are shot off, and the ice is the fastest, of course, but you can definitely see that the blue ice is way faster than the other two ice. And here we have the other items that are still coming. They're pretty slow, but there's not much big difference between the slime as well as the normal blocks. And Soul Sand never even got past the first block over there. So having ice underneath of soul sand will make the soul sand even slower to move across. So here we have a test where we're going to try to allow this zombie to pathfind to the villager. First we're going to test it with normal or packed ice. They both act the same. Let's go ahead and release the zombie so he takes off, and we'll see how long it takes him to reach all the way to the very end. And then we'll come in and swap this out with blue ice. Okay, the zombie has reached the end, and it looks about 739 game ticks for him to get over here. So let's go ahead and swap this out with some blue ice. Now we're testing it with the blue ice, and the zombie is taking off across it, and we'll see how long it takes him to get to the far end. Now with the ice on being underneath of the soul sand, it amplifies the soul sand, so soul sand makes you go slow, so it makes you go super slow, and what we should expect is that the zombie goes even slower yet with blue ice compared to having just normal ice or packed ice. Okay, so the zombie is reaching the end, and you can see he is slightly slower, so it's noticeable, but not that much. So now I'm going to test pigs. So if I just switch over to my carrot, he will start running across. Apparently pigs are supposed to run faster on ice, and we'll see how long it takes them to run 100 meters. So going across some normal ice, it looks like 977 game ticks. So it looks like it took about 897 ticks to reach this distance. So it looks like the pig going across some normal blocks was 829. So these results really don't make much sense. Maybe pigs are just very inconsistent, but you can see that the normal block was actually the fastest, taking the least amount of time. Then it was the blue ice, and then it was the normal ice, such as like your packed and your normal ice would be underneath this category. So yeah, something strange going on. I noticed did this test a couple times, and it was pretty inconsistent each time. So it might just be pigs. I made sure not to click on the carrot to boost or anything like that. And Wikipedia says that the pigs will travel at 4 meters per second, and this is more like 2 meters per second. Fast boats, fast items, as well as fast players. So tell me what you guys think about this in the comments. And if you guys found this interesting, show me the like and share it with others. And if you'd like to see more videos like this, subscribe and don't forget to hit the bell. Bye-bye!